and like love them so unconditionally, like through stuff that you shouldn't.
Brianna Chickenfry found herself in an emotional whirlwind after being blindsided by Zach Bryan's sudden and very public breakup announcement. The 25-year-old Barstool sports personality took to her Instagram story on Tuesday to express her shock and dismay moments after Bryan, the 28-year-old country singer, shared the news with his followers on his own Instagram account. "Hey guys, I'm feeling really blindsided right now," LaPaglia wrote, her words heavy with disbelief. "Gonna hop off social media for a while and attempt to heal privately." For someone who thrives in the limelight, with a career built around being constantly online and connecting with her audience, this sudden withdrawal marked a significant moment. It revealed the depth of her hurt. This wasn't just another breakup to process quietly. She was stunned, caught off guard by the abruptness of Bryan's announcement, as if the ground had been ripped from beneath her. There was a raw vulnerability in her post, a glimpse of the person behind the carefully curated online persona that so many had come to know and love. Her fans had seen her laugh, joke, and share wild stories on her podcast, but this side of Brianna, the side that was dealing with heartbreak, confusion, and maybe even betrayal, was something new. She signed off by promising her fans that she would return when she was ready. "When I'm ready, I'll be back and ready to talk," she added, almost like a reminder to herself, reinforcing the idea that eventually she would rise again from this emotional wreckage. Her gratitude toward her fans, however, remained unwavering. She thanked them for their kind words and added a note of optimism. "Everything's always going to be okay." Perhaps in that moment, Brianna needed to hear those words just as much as her audience did. It's one thing to say it out loud, but quite another to believe it when your heart is heavy and the future seems uncertain. But this wasn't the end of her public processing. Shortly after, LaPaglia took to YouTube to upload a tearful video in which she directly addressed the breakup. Sitting on the floor of her bathroom, her emotions raw and unfiltered, she spoke to her audience, who had followed her highs and lows for so long. "I just woke up to Zach posting on his Instagram that we broke up, and I had no idea that post was going up," she said, her voice quivering with a mixture of shock and sorrow. The scene felt intimate. LaPaglia, sitting vulnerably in a place that many associate with private moments of reflection, offered a peek behind the polished veneer that influencers often present. What stood out in her message was the sheer disbelief she expressed. "He didn't text me, he didn't call me," she said, incredulity evident in her tone. "I've been crying for 5 days straight," she added, revealing just how much the split, and the manner in which it was handled, had taken its toll on her. It's one thing to go through a breakup, but to find out about it through an Instagram post? That's a different kind of pain. It's the kind of heartbreak that makes you question everything: your worth, your relationship, and the person you thought you knew. How can you give someone everything and love them so unconditionally through stuff that you shouldn't? She pondered aloud, her words trailing off as she grappled with the harsh reality of being discarded seemingly out of nowhere. The weight of her emotions was palpable as she spoke, her tears reflecting the heartbreak of someone who had given so much of herself only to be left feeling discarded. But what makes this situation even more gut-wrenching is the timeline. According to LaPaglia, the breakup happened on Monday, and by Tuesday, Bryan had already made it public. The speed of it all, the abruptness, left her feeling utterly blindsided. For someone in the public eye, there's no escaping the scrutiny that comes with a breakup, especially one as high-profile as theirs. And yet, despite the pain, LaPaglia managed to hold on to some semblance of composure. Though she admitted she wasn't ready to dive into the details just yet, she did promise that she would eventually open up about what happened, offering her fans and the media a glimmer of hope that more clarity would come in time. As news of the breakup began to spread, more details trickled out. Earlier that day, a source had spoken to Page 6, revealing that the split wasn't entirely unexpected. Zach and Bree were crazy about each other, but their relationship was always rocky, the insider shared. His lifestyle is not conducive to a serious relationship. This statement, though vague, added another layer to the unfolding narrative. Bryan, as a rising star in the country music scene, had a life that was fast-paced, full of constant travel, late nights, and a level of public scrutiny that can be incredibly hard on any relationship. LaPaglia, though used to the spotlight in her own right, found herself in a relationship dynamic that was perhaps more challenging than she had anticipated. Bryan's own statement, which he shared on his Instagram story, mirrored LaPaglia's shock in its tone of regret and sadness. He confirmed the breakup, expressing that he still held respect and love for her with every ounce of his heart. His words were filled with remorse, as he acknowledged the unconditional love that LaPaglia had shown him throughout their time together. "She has loved me unconditionally for a very long time, and for that I'll always thank her," he wrote, a sentiment that felt both genuine and sorrowful. In a cryptic twist, Bryan alluded to personal struggles that may have played a role in the breakup. He mentioned having had an incredibly hard year personally and battling through some pretty severe things. Though he didn't provide specifics, it was clear that whatever he had been dealing with had weighed heavily on him and his relationship. Perhaps, in his mind, ending things with LaPaglia was a way to shield her from the storm that had been raging inside him. "I thought it would be beneficial for them to go their different ways," he explained, a line that, while rational, did little to soften the blow for LaPaglia or for their fans, who had been rooting for them as a couple. But Bryan didn't shy away from admitting his own faults. "I am not perfect and never will be," he confessed. His words carried the weight of someone who had tried and failed not only in his relationship but perhaps in other areas of his life as well. "With everything I am and to anyone I let down, I am sorry," he continued, expressing a deep sense of regret. "I try my best in everything. I failed people that love me and mostly myself." It was a raw and honest admission, one that painted a picture of a man grappling with the consequences of his actions and the toll they had taken on those around him. As with any high-profile breakup, speculation began to swirl almost immediately. Reddit and TikTok users were quick to pick up on the clues that something had gone wrong between the couple. Screenshots of Bryan's profile on the celebrity dating app Raya began circulating online, adding fuel to the fire. Had Bryan moved on already? Or had he been seeking attention elsewhere before the relationship had even officially ended? The rumor mill churned, with fans and followers dissecting every detail, trying to piece together the truth. LaPaglia, for her part, added to the speculation when she posted a cryptic poem to her Instagram. The lines, though brief, carried a heavy message. "Eventually you'll find that life goes on / even if you don't want it to." It was a sentiment that many of her followers could relate to, the idea that, no matter how painful a situation might be, time keeps moving forward whether we're ready for it or not. Couple's relationship, which had begun in July 2023, had seemed promising at first. Though they kept things relatively low-key in the early months, they made their red carpet debut at the 2024 Grammys, where they appeared happy and very much in love. For many, this public display of affection was a sign that their relationship was strong, despite the challenges that come with dating someone in the public eye. But behind the scenes, things weren't as picture-perfect as they appeared. A few weeks after their Grammys appearance, rumors of infidelity began to surface. A woman named Brooke Almond publicly accused Bryan of cheating on LaPaglia with her. The revelation sent shockwaves through their fan base, with many questioning whether their relationship could survive such a scandal.